Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unraveling a story that feels, honestly, like it was ripped straight out of a cinematic sci-fi thriller. But the crazy part? It all takes place on a scale infinitely smaller than the naked eye can even see. We're exploring the bizarre, visually stunning, and just absolutely fascinating origin story of an entity known simply as the blue cell. So, get ready to look at the microscopic world in a completely different way, because this is an origin story like absolutely no other. Okay, let's dive into this. What actually happens when human consciousness fuses with microscopic light? Picture this scene with me for a second. Imagine you're peering through a high-powered laboratory lens, looking down at a standard glass lab slide. But instead of seeing typical, static, boring cells, you see something literally impossible. Floating just above the glass is a sentient, living cell, and if you look really closely, right through its translucent, glowing membrane, there's a human face, faintly shimmering inside, looking right back at you.
To borrow a phrase, this entity is neither fully human nor simply a super shrunk man. This isn't your standard comic book trope where a guy just gets tiny. No, it's an entirely new, almost incomprehensible form of existence. We're talking about a luminous anomaly composed entirely of the shimmering turquoise and light blue photonic biomaterial. It is breathtaking to even think about, an organism made of pure glowing light and biology completely intertwined into one functioning entity.
Section 1. The Seattle biochemist, Martin Gettle's ambition. Before he was a shimmering blue light, Martin was just a regular 30-something biochemical researcher working out in Seattle. He was a guy with incredibly lofty ambitions, operating in the high-stakes world of biotech, trying desperately to push the boundaries of science. His work at a firm called Photomic Meditech focused on the photonic biointerface. Basically, this is the cutting-edge process of merging photonic energy, harnessing light, essentially, with living tissue. And the goal? To miraculously heal damaged cells. It was revolutionary work, and Martin was right on the absolute verge of a massive, life-altering breakthrough. The contrast here is just staggering. On one hand, you have Martin Gettle before the event, your average 30-something Seattle biochemist, probably walking around a lab in a standard white coat, right? Then you have the blue cell after, sentient turquoise biomaterial. The transition from an ordinary human scientist walking the streets of Seattle to a microscopic luminous entity is almost impossible to wrap your head around. But remarkably, that is exactly what happened. Section 2. The catastrophic failure, the night everything changed. Breakthroughs of this magnitude rarely happen without immense risk. Let's look at how it all went down. A late-night experiment, total containment field collapse, complete physical body disassembly, and finally, microscopic reformation. It all happens in a violent flash. Martin was working alone, pushing the boundaries of his tech, when the room was suddenly bathed in incredibly unstable photomic light. He didn't just shrink. His physical human form was completely torn apart by the energy and instantly reformed on a microscopic scale. The result was him fusing his consciousness with the very energy he sought to control. Like we talked about, it wasn't just a change in size. It was a total shattering of the boundaries between human and organism. His cellular structure permanently fused with the experimental photonic matrix. The scientist literally became the science. The mind of Martin Gettle was suddenly housed within this tiny microscopic droplet of living light. Section 3. A microscopic guardian, operating on a new scale. He wasn't Martin Gettle, the human researcher, anymore. He awoke to a new identity. So, let's look at the blue cell's abilities, which are absolutely astonishing. Because of his size and makeup, he easily infiltrates microscopic spaces. He manipulates bio-photomic energy directly. He traverses complex human tissue and vast lab environments with zero friction. But most importantly, he uses these newfound powers to protect life from microscopic threats, dangers humanity doesn't even know exist. He navigates the hidden pathways of organic systems right in the heart of Seattle's biotech corridors, acting as this tiny luminous protector. He truly drifts between the worlds of man and microbe. Think about the sheer contrast for a second. He operates on the absolute smallest scale imaginable, a microscopic speck. Yet the impact he has as a guardian of life is monumentally huge. He's this invisible shield standing between humanity and unseen microscopic destruction, gracefully bridging to entirely different universes. Which leaves us with one final profound question. If your face and consciousness remain anchored inside a translucent cell body, what does it truly mean to be human? Martin's mind, his very humanity, remains visibly anchored by that faint face shimmering inside the cell. Yes, he's a microscopic guardian, a biological anomaly, but in his mind, is he still Martin Gettle? It's a fascinating dual existence that really makes you question where biology ends and the human soul begins. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope this deep dive into the incredible origin of the blue cell sparked your curiosity as much as it did mine. Keep wondering, keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next one.